Here are my roster picks for the big four countries at the 2026 Olympics. Starting off with Canada, I won't waste any time going over the obvious picks. Mark Stone has a point in all but 2 games this season and is elite defensively. Although Bedard is currently injured, he's already shown how great he can be on a mediocre Blackhawks team. And I also think he can play a better winger role than some of the natural centers. And I think the entire bottom 6 is well suited for a checking role, and can also provide offense as well. On defense, I feel like Chychrun might be a bit under the radar, but he's been fantastic for the Capitals this year. Colton Parayko is one of the best defensive options among right-handed defensemen for Canada, and Matthew Schaefer would be great to have as a backup option despite his lack of experience. The goaltending seems pretty obvious in my opinion, but management has this weird off-ice beef with Logan Thompson, so perhaps they end up passing on him for whatever reason. But off-ice shenanigans aside, Thompson and Blackwood are easily the top 2 Canadian goalies right now. And I added Binnington for his proven ability to perform in clutch situations, even though he's having a pretty bad season so far. Now for Team USA, they're the strongest team on the back end. There are some fantastic defensemen that won't make it onto the team, where I feel like they would have made it onto the other teams. I also feel like chemistry is really important, which is why I have Hughes and Faber paired together. There are lots of goaltending options, and I was even debating between Spencer Knight and Jeremy Swayman. But I decided Knight deserves a chance for how well he's done with a subpar defense in front of him. I think Team USA fumbled some of their forward picks at Four Nations. There were some obvious choices left off for some questionable ones. I don't think there's any need to overthink it. I picked what I think are the 14 best forwards. But either way, I think Team USA is the most well-rounded team. Team Sweden has fewer options, but collectively they still create a fantastic team. They have some naturally great defensive centers like Eriksson Ek and Pettersson, and are flooded with skilled wingers. And I think Landeskog, Pettersson, and Eklund make up a very solid checking line. And there's even other great options I didn't add, like Matthias Ekholm. I think Philip Gustafsson is easily the starter, while Jesper Wallstedt and Linus Ullmark are the 2 backups. Finally, we have Team Finland, which was pretty straightforward given the limited amount of options. At Four Nations, their best defenseman Miro Heiskanen was injured, and now at the Olympics they'll be without their best forward Alexander Barkov. Finland just can't catch a break, but I still think they'll have a good team. They have great chemistry on the top line with all 3 players playing together last season, and fantastic center depth overall. The defense and goaltending you see are pretty much the only options available, but I think both the defense and goaltending still end up being pretty solid, even if it's not as good as the other teams. Obviously, there's no one right answer for these teams, but in the comments, let me know how your teams would be different from mine.